Okay, so for today's deep dive, we're unpacking Detroit techno. It's often called humanistic electronic music, which I find fascinating. Because the core question is just, how did a city so defined by, industrial decay create something that sounded so much like the future?
It's a great question. And I think the context of Detroit, it didn't just inspire the sound. It actually, it sculpted its entire emotional feel.
Sculpted it? How so?
Well, think about it. The cycles of manufacturing, the low-end rumble of factories, the sheer scale of the machines.
Right.
That whole sonic environment really gave birth to the genre.
And the sound itself was really pinned down by three key figures, the Detroit Three.
Juan Atkins, Derek May, and Kevin Saunderson.
Exactly. And they were deliberately trying to create a new aesthetic, something that wasn't Chicago house, that wasn't earlier electro.
And the name itself, it really stuck globally after that 1988 compilation, didn't it?
Oh, Techno, the new dance sound of Detroit. That was the moment.
Yeah. But if you look at the influences, it's such a cross-pollination. On one side, you've got this incredibly powerful African-American radio DJ culture.
You mean like electrifying mojo?
Precisely. Guys like him were absolute masters of synthesis. I mean, they would drop something like Kraftwerk, German industrial electronics, right next to Parliament Funkadelic.
Wow.
And that creates the whole foundation.
Okay, that context makes sense. But let's get into the mechanics. How did that gritty industrial feel translate, specifically into the rhythm?
The gear. It was all about the gear.
They famously used those Roland TR-808s and 909s. Why those machines?
Because they mirrored the physical landscape. I mean, the TR-808 gives you that deep, booming bass drum.
That thud.
Yeah, that analog thud. It felt like the low-end rumble of the city itself.
Yeah.
And then the 909. It offered those crisp, almost metallic hi-hats and snares.
Like factory stamping.
Exactly. The sound of automated assembly lines, it gave the music this cold, mechanical foundation, which they then, injected with pure soul.
Which leads us right to the tracks that defined it all, and the different philosophies of the founders. Let's start with Juan Atkins as Model 500.
The futurist architect, for sure.
A track like No UFOs from '85, released on his own label, Metroplex.
That track established the whole sci-fi electro-funk blueprint. And it also showed the power of these small, local indie labels to just get the vision out there.
So if Atkins laid down that technological blueprint, Derek May was the one who,
He injected the soul into the machine.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Strings of Life, 1987, that's just...
Pure emotional catharsis. It had that driving, runaway rhythm, but then these deeply melodic, almost piano-like synth phrases made sure the machine has never lost that Black American R&B and gospel feel.
And then there's Kevin Saunderson.
The crossover king.
Right. With Inner City, he took it global. Big Fun, Good Life. These were massive mainstream hits in 1988.
Huge. But we can't forget Jeff Mills.
Oh, of course.
The Bells.
I mean, it sold over 500,000 copies on vinyl alone. That cemented the genre's pull worldwide. And that global reach, it spread fast, especially to Europe.
Berlin, especially.
Yeah.
That '88 compilation was a huge catalyst there. It forged this symbiotic relationship with 90s German club culture. That's really where the term techno took root as a defined genre.
And what's so interesting about the legacy is that it wasn't just about the music itself, it was the process.
What do you mean?
The reliance on affordable, often used roll-in gear. It sort of democratized music production, right? It empowered almost anyone to become a producer and shift the culture.
Exactly. And that economic reality, it just seeped into the aesthetics. You saw it in the fashion, minimal, functional, utility-based.
And in the art, too. That contrast of raw industrial textures with the neon lights of a club.
Yeah, the decay outside, the digital promise inside.
So what this all really means for you, the listener, is that Detroit techno is this incredible cultural product. It's a blend of a city's history, cutting-edge tech, and just core Black American creativity.
For sure. It's the sound of a city wrestling with its past to build its future.
A perfect summary.
And maybe the final thought here, the paradox, is that the music's mechanical repetition is precisely what brings out community and this deep human emotion. As Detroit continues its own regeneration, the music is still linked to that civic renewal.
So the final question is,
what does it mean for a sound that was born from industrial decay to become a tool for rebuilding hope? That's a legacy that just keeps echoing.